All right, guys. So it is Wednesday, June 8th, which is insane to even say June 8th, like crazy, halfway through the year. It is our team call for Team Fit and Fulfilled. And tonight I wanted to talk to you guys about the summer slide, which is I think I made it up for Beachbody. So basically tonight what was happening was I came home from work and I was literally so tired on the way home that I was like, I just want to go home and go to bed, which you guys know with kids, like that wasn't happening anyway. But I was like, I don't want to do a team call. Like, I just don't want to do it. I was not in the mood, but I do know it's almost like working out. Like if I get the team call and I feel amazing after because you guys totally pump me up. So I started to think about the fact that I'm sure I'm not the only person who was feeling that tonight or will feel it at another time, like whether it's running your own team calls or just getting on these team calls. You know, at times at night, we're tired if it's 9 o'clock at night or whatever the case may be. So I started to think about how I can kind of take that negative and turn it into a positive. And I came up with the idea for this summer slide call. So as you guys know, my background is teaching. And one of the things we often as teachers talk about is the summer slide, meaning that when the summer comes, the kids kind of regress because they're not doing as much, and then they come back in September and they're not as far along. You know, we have to do a lot of reteaching in the beginning of the year. So I was thinking about that as it applies to your business, to our businesses. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about. So hopefully you'll kind of understand where I'm going with this. But so basically, you know, we are coming into the summer months and the days, you know, it's lighter, longer. We're going to the pool. We're going to the beach. The kids are staying up later because it's not dark outside yet. We, you know, are hanging out by the pool or whatever, right? Like our lifestyles kind of change at this time of the year, at least I think for most of us. So, you know, with a business like this, where you don't necessarily have set hours and you are working other jobs or you are taking care of your kids all day, it's very easy to get into that summer slide mentality and say, well, I'm not going to get on the team call, or, well, I'm not going to do my invites, or, well, I'll walk on the beach, so I'm not going to do my workout, or, you know what, I don't need my shake today because I'm going to eat whatever. Or I'm not going to reach out to people because they're not answering me, or whatever the case may be. It's very easy to just, well, you know, and pass it along and just kind of check out. It's easy to do that. The temptation is there. But I wanted to talk to you guys about this because as I look back at my business over the last 2 years, I know that these months are my biggest months. Like July has been my biggest income month the past 2 years, both years. My first year as a coach, that July, I passed 20 Success Club points. I think I was at like 25 or something, 26. Like I was way up there with Success Club points. I'll tell you that was because of the 3-day refresh just coming out. And with the summer, people are looking for that quick thing and they're looking for that quick results. So the 3-day refresh is a great thing to think about in the summer months. Also, I was doing a team cup, which had me really motivated and plugged into my business. And then last summer too, I can remember very specifically July being an awesome month in my business. So I chose to kind of take that time and plug in and go along, even though sometimes it may feel like, you know, people aren't, you know, answering your messages or whatever the case may be. I chose to show up for my business and I chose to get on the team calls even if I didn't feel like it, or, you know, do my inviting or do my workouts and talk about them. And I just chose to stay consistent. And I think that the reason that I am where I am in this business at this point is because I did that. So that's what I want you guys to understand. And that's what I really wanted to hone in on tonight, was not to get into that summer slide, not to, you know, be that person who doesn't show up for the calls or slacks off on your business. Because, you know, with Beachbody, your actions lead to the results. Your actions in your workouts lead to your results, right? Your actions in your nutrition lead to your results, and your action in your business leads to your results. Think about it. If you know, let's say this was before you signed up as a coach and you were watching me or whoever your upline is. I know a lot of you watched me if you're my challenge, started out as a challenger, started out as a coach or whatever, or watched your coach. I am pretty confident in saying that the reason you chose to sign up with us was because you saw our consistency, and you saw that even if we weren't perfect, we were still plugging along. I just venture to say that people are more likely to sign up with me as their coach and their mentor, whether in business or in fitness, because they see that I stay consistent. I take stake in this and I take it seriously. This is my business. It's also my livelihood, not livelihood in the sense of business, but it's my lifestyle, and it's not, that doesn't change regardless of what else is going on around me. So keep that in mind and remember to stay consistent. Even if it feels like no one's watching, stay consistent. The other thing is that you also want to start to think about what's going on in people's minds. Like I said, I knew tonight that I wasn't the only person thinking I didn't want to be on a call tonight. I didn't want to, sit down. I didn't want to, I wanted to go to bed. And I'm sure there are going to be other nights during the summer where I'm like, I don't feel like it, whatever. So think about that when you're thinking about the people you're inviting, when you're thinking about the people you're putting your posts out there to attract. There are people who are going to want to spend their time at the beach, are going to be going to barbecues, are going to be going on vacation, are going to want to have a glass of wine and whatever. So yeah, exactly. I see you, Wendy. I've got mine too. So speak to that. Don't try to be this walking infomercial of perfection, and just be real and be you, and say that, when you're talking to people, when you're posting or when you're having conversations, you can say that, like, guys, I get it. I want to be grilling hot dogs and, chasing down Mr. Softy just like you do, but here's the deal, this is how it's going to play out, and here's what you're going to need to do. So talk about that, and talk about how if they have you as their coach, this is what you're going to do to support them. This is how you guys are going to get through this together. Here's how you can kind of have it all. You can have your summer fun, you can have your barbecues, you can have your drinks, but you can invest this small amount of time each day and invest in me as your coach to kind of walk you through it, to keep you on a straight and narrow while still having the fun. So that's kind of where your posts are going. You're showing yourself at the pool and, packing your 21-day fix containers, or, doing your workout outside on Beachbody On Demand because it's a gorgeous day, and, whatever, like, use that in your marketing, use that in your branding. You're someone who, think about that too. Like, when you're posting on social media, what is your brand? What is your message? Are you sending out the message that you're just looking for people who aren't going to screw up? Or are you sending out the message that you're looking for people who want a solution that's going to be a lifestyle change, that's going to embrace those failures and take it as an opportunity to learn and grow? So just kind of keep that in mind. But again, stay consistent, because if you aren't showing up, then people are going to think, well, she's not going to show up for me. Why is she, if she's not showing up on social media, and all of a sudden, like, there are people who I like my coach, Melanie, I've told you guys before, when I signed up as a coach, it was because I had been watching her on her journey. And still to this day, I check Facebook every day to see if Melanie did her workout. Because I guess in somewhere in my mind, I think if she didn't, I don't have to, which is like, it's like a mind game I play with myself. But in the same token, so many people will say to me, like, I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you stay so consistent. You've got kids and you've got this and you just moved and you got a job. Like, how do you stay so consistent? And like, the truth of it is, I just do. And I do it because I think about that person that I was, that was watching, and that person that I still am, that's watching. And almost, not to say that people are waiting for me to fail, but it's almost like I need to prove it wrong. Like, I'm going to prove that I'm going to stick with this thing because it works and because I'm so passionate about it, and they can be too. So that's just something to keep in mind. Don't let the summer slide get you. But, again, don't claim to be perfect. Show that you can have it. You have it all. It's all about balance, and show that. So the other thing I wanted to talk about with the summer slide is, just with this business in general, keep it simple. Brand yourself. When you're posting, post with purpose. And so think about it too. Like, here's the deal. When I look back at the people who would sit and say, you know what, it's the summer, people aren't replying. It's the summer, people aren't on Facebook. It's the summer. Like, just like we talk to our challengers and we're like, those are excuses. Sometimes as coaches, we need that tough love to know, like, a lot of times if people aren't responding to you, that's an opportunity for you to take a look at yourself and take a look at your social media page and take a look at your actions and your vital behaviors and be really honest and give yourself a little bit of tough love and say, well, what are you really doing? You know, you want to hit Success Club, right? You want to rank advance, you want to increase your income, but are your actions aligning with those goals? If you really give yourself a serious, assessment, are you doing those things? And I'm saying this from a place of love and also a place of understanding, because I know that there are times when mine don't. And it is, I have to give myself that reality check. Like, okay, what's going on? It's like, if you have a challenge group and it's dead, chances are it's because your energy is low and you need to figure out what you can do to work on yourself to help others to work on themselves. And that's what this business is all about. It's all about helping people. And so if you're not right with yourself, like, that's when you start to see it all come together, is when you do kind of work on those things, because you are going to attract people that are like you. So just kind of keep that in mind. Do your actions, the things you do in private, you know that we've all seen that meme that says, like, what you eat in private, you wear in public. Same thing with your coaching. Are your actions in private behind this computer screen matching the goals that you're saying in public? If you're saying, I want to be a diamond coach by X date, are the things you're doing when you sit down at your computer or your phone aligning with those goals? So, and when it comes to that, you just have to raise your standards. So if you have big goals, if your goal is to hit Success Club, that means you have to help 3 people a month, right? Or if you want to hit Success Club 5, you help 5 people a month. But if you're saying, I want to max out on my Success Club points, I want to get, I want to beat my numbers from last month, and last month I was at 10, this month I want to be at 15, then you need to raise your standards. If you were inviting 3 people a day to get to that SC10, then this month you're inviting 20 people a day to get to the next goal. And you have to make sure that you're raising those standards to meet those goals. You can have a successful business by just doing the vital behaviors, by just inviting 3 people a day, by just sharing your Shakeology and your workouts and just doing those bare minimums. But if you don't want just an average successful business and you want what's up here, then you have to match your efforts to that level. The next thing I want to talk about is that your Facebook page is your storefront. Your social media, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, whatever, is your storefront. So, if you don't post for a few days and you're not showing up, it's just like if you were to have, a flower shop and you just decide not to open today, and then you don't open tomorrow. And then the sign on the door says you're open from 9 to 5, but today you want to leave at 3. Eventually people are going to show up to your flower shop to buy flowers and you're closed. And then the next day you're closed, and then they don't come back to you because the guy down the street's always open. So, if you're not available and you're not talking about the groups that you're running and your journey, people aren't going to shop at your store, I guess you could say, right? People aren't going to follow you the way that you want them to. And so when it comes to your social media, you want to think about a couple of things. You want to think about your brand. Like I say a million times, Beachbody does the advertising for us. They do the marketing. They've got the infomercial thing. They've got the stock images. You are your brand. You are what people are buying. They're not buying a challenge pack through you just to get the 21-day fix or whatever program. They're buying it through you because they want you as their coach. They want a piece of what you have. They want to have the success that you have had. So you want to think about that when you are posting your brand, and switch it up. Like I kind of fall guilty into like getting into a routine of posting about my workout and posting about this and posting about that. But when you think about your posts, try to like share a little bit of you, share a little bit of your heart. How many of you guys, I know because I've seen them and I've done them myself, when you post something that's like totally off the wall, like it's about a struggle that you've had with whatever, it like people respond to that. People start to take an interest because you're showing that you're human, and a lot of the times it's something that they can relate to, whether it's, you know, that you struggle with anxiety, or you struggle with organization, or whatever it may be, or that you know, are drowning in student loan debt, or whatever, and then you talk about how the business or how your challenge groups are helping you. That gets people's attention because they're like, oh my gosh, me too. You know, so you want to think about that. And so if I were to go and look at your Facebook page and I were to scroll through really quickly, you want to make sure that when I do that, not me, but anyone, they can see that you're a coach. They see pictures of you. They feel like they get to know who you are, and they understand what you're bringing to the table, what you have to offer it, you know, whether it's a coach training or a challenge group. So that's just really important. So just getting back to basics, staying consistent, making sure your actions meet your goals, and always knowing that, you know, at the forefront of all of this is your Success Club. If you're hitting Success Club, your business is going to grow. And if you are, you know, in this to build a team, then if you're hitting Success Club and you're helping your coaches to hit Success Club, then you've got the secret sauce. Because, you know, especially when you have a team, it's not just about your success. It's about figuring out what works and helping others to duplicate that success. And that's where the magic really happens, because obviously then your business grows, but also like it's proof that this works, like that it's a whole cycle, and it makes you feel really good to know that you're a part of that. I think if you're, you know, for me, like that leadership aspect of it is huge. So that's just kind of my piece on this. Like I said, the summer months can be amazing if you allow them to be, if you stay plugged in. But if you check out, then it's not going to happen. Now, you know, when I say stay plugged in, I mean continue to be consistent with your invites. Make sure that you are inviting every single day, that you are, you know, and by inviting, I mean that you're also just forming people, just having conversations with people. And the summer can be actually kind of easy for that because everyone's got a lot going on. You can talk about the beaches they're going to, or the vacations they're taking, or the bathing suits they're wearing, or, you know, the barbecue they're having, and what are they going to bring, or things like that are all really good. Also, you want to think about how you can take the summer theme and put it into place for your marketing. You know, if it is it going that you're going to offer a free group for summer cocktails, 5 days of summer cocktails? Is it, you know, you're going to do a free group of like no equipment outdoor workouts that you can do on the beach? I'm going to write that down. You know, maybe that you're going to do a free water group. Liz just did that and it turned out great because people need to stay hydrated. You can talk about the importance of that. Maybe it's that you're going to give them tips in your challenge group for surviving vacation while doing, you know, the 21-day fix, or, you know, whatever, like think about things that would be something that would come up as an objection when you're talking to people. Like, I would love to join your group, but, you know, we just got this shore house. Or, I would love to join your group, but the kids are home all day and I just don't have time to work out around them. So then you are showing you, like me, crazy person, working around your kids, working out, getting it in anyway. Like, you know, doing a workout with the stroller if you're a mom with kids. Like, just think about all of those objections that either you could come up with or you have heard people come at you with. And if you are publicly posting about those objections and then also using it as fuel to create your content and set yourself apart, like, it's a no-fail solution, you know, and let people know, you know, you're going to do this program. You're still going to be allowed to have that, you know, beer after a hot day at the beach, or whatever it is, figure out, like, let them know it's all about balance. It's not about perfection. So just play into that. Also, when you're thinking about recruiting, if you're recruiting for coaches, you know, for me particularly, like, I always think about the fact, and I haven't posted about this yet. I'm sorry, I just need to write this note down. No equipment workout on beach. Not that I even live near a beach, but I'll just go to the pool. I don't know. I'll do something. I'll like do a no equipment workout by the lake. Got it. Done. But anyway, so for me, like, you know, as a teacher, I know that especially before kids, like you would start to think about what am I going to do for the summer months? Because people don't realize, but most teachers don't get paid in the summer months. So your last paycheck is either June 15th or June 30th, and you don't get another one until middle of September. So you've got all that time that you're not getting, you know, you're not earning an income. So for me, it was always scrambling to find a summer job, waitressing as much as I could, tutoring, babysitting. Like I was doing all these things. So what you can start to do now is talk about that and talk about how this could be an opportunity for someone to start a business to do from their beach chair over the summer to make some of that cash. You know, maybe you can talk about that. Or are you a teacher? Are you looking for whatever? Like, kind of put that into play. And then also when I was talking with Kathy and brainstorming earlier, she came up with a great idea to call your coach training summer school. So I thought that was really cute to say, you know, who wants to go to summer school? So, you know, just kind of like think about what your market will respond to. And I don't want you to think like, you know, this is the thing too. People will say like, I don't have experience with marketing. I don't have experience with sales. And neither do I. But what I do have experience with is life and knowing what I'm looking for and what would attract to me based on my needs. You know, it's just like a commercial, and it's like, think about that. When any kind of advertising, they're trying to appeal to what you are thinking and what you need. So the easiest way to do that is to think back to who you were when you were attracted to this business or when you were attracted to a challenge group, and then use that as your posts and use that in your conversations. You know, when someone gives you an objection, relate to them. It's just like you're having a conversation with anyone. Like, oh my God, like, you know, if someone says to you, I would love to join your group, but you know, Shakeology just doesn't make sense to me because I can't imagine another expense. I can't imagine paying that much. You relate to them and say like, you know what, to be honest with you, like I am probably the cheapest person around. So I totally get where you're coming from. But for me, like it just made sense to me, especially as a busy mom, to know that like, yeah, I was paying for all these meals up front, but when I broke it down, it was $4 a day. And it literally takes me 30 seconds to make breakfast for myself. And most of the days I make it for Grayson too. So we're out of the door. You know, if I need to get out of the house, it's 30 seconds or 30 seconds that like, we can move on to the next thing. And that's like as easy as that conversation needs to be. I'm not pushing or selling. I'm just explaining that, hey, I get it. Like I think the same exact way. And I think sometimes like with so much in this business, we overthink it. Don't overthink it. Like how many times do you talk to someone and suggest to them that they buy whatever you have? Or like I mentioned on the call last week, you know, if I see you wearing a shirt that I think is super cute and I say, oh my gosh, I love your shirt, that's super cute, I'm either going to say, where'd you get it? Or I'm going to expect you to tell me where you got it because I probably want to get it too. That's just how we work. Like that's how our brains function. So, you know, don't feel strange with talking about what you're doing and inviting people to do it too and saying like, this is awesome. This is what it's done for me. And it can do it for you too. So that's my piece on that. Don't let the summer slide get to you, and just realize too, like, know that you need to sometimes give yourself a gut check. If you're sitting there and you're watching that I'm posting, you know, this person hit Success Club, that person hit Success Club, this person rank advanced, that person rank advanced. Don't look and say like, wow, they're so lucky. I don't know how they did it. Or like, I'm going to tell you how they did it. They did the 4 vital behaviors. They were really honest with themselves and they said, these are my goals. So this is what my actions are going to be. Like, be honest with yourself. If you want to slack off for the summer and you want to just chill and you don't want your business to move forward and you're cool with it kind of sliding backwards, or your customers maybe going to another coach, go nuts. But if you want your business to continue and you want to be a part of this crazy train we're riding, then, you know, you need to be honest with yourself and you need to be plugged in. And maybe it means that you know that, Wednesdays at 9:00 isn't going to work for you because you're going to the beach concert. But then you make a point to say, well, then I'm going to be sure that I listen to the recording when it's posted. And, you know, whatever, like, you don't have to be on these things lives, but you need to be doing them. You know, Like, that's the bottom line. The more you plug into, the more resources the more connected you are, the more you view this as a community, the more successful you're going to be. So that's my post. I'm getting a little bit of ranty, but I think, to be honest with you, I think the reason I'm getting that like rant is because a lot of these things hit home for me too. Like, I'm speaking to you the same, as I'm saying these things, I'm thinking like it relates to me as well. So just know that those are my tips. Like I said, the summer has been very lucrative for me the past 2 years, and I don't expect anything less than that and Beachbody knows too, and they're thinking about this. And that's why the 21-day fix and fix extreme are on special. That's why the 3-day refresh is on special, because they know, it's not rocket science. It's our society. That's how it works. So that's all I've got for you guys. I'm going to open it up for questions, and I hope that makes sense, and I hope that it helps you in your business.